Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Pioneer with the blue-white Flash deck in Pioneer, also known as blue-white Spirits. We're just going to talk about the sideboard today. We're not going to talk about the entire deck. I did a deck tech and why you should play the deck. I posted that last week. You should definitely check that out if you're interested in that. But without further ado, let's jump in to sideboarding. So this is the blue-white Flash deck. As far as the sideboard goes, we have Deafening Silence, which is mostly for combo decks and stuff. Additional portable holes for permanents that cost 2 or less, but mostly for aggro decks. Surge of Salvation for red and black removal-based decks. Declaration Stone just has additional removal. Rest in Peace as our graveyard hate. Cassia's Welcome is kind of wedding announcement number 5, but mostly for decks that are attempting to go along and are interacting with us a bunch. Again, same thing as wedding announcement. Split Up is a one-sided board wipe against decks that it would be one-sided, people that are trying to turn cards sideways against us. And then the Wandering Emperor is both really good against aggressive decks because it can exile things and gain life, while also being really decent in matchups that go very, very long and are actively trying to interact with us because it's a little bit stickier than normal creatures. That being said, the most popular deck in Pioneer is mono red aggro. Against mono red, we're bringing in Portable Hole as additional removal. Surge of Salvation is really cute against mono red, being able to like block super profitably. And you know, if you block Heartfire Hero, it stops Heartfire Hero from targeting you and whatnot. Declaration Stone is great additional removal. Split Up is excellent against you know, this deck that is just trying to turn cards sideways very, very quickly. And I'm a fan of the Wandering Emperor in being able to exile and gain life. We're taking out Enduring Curiosity. It's just really not good enough. I'm also not the biggest fan of Mausoleum Wanderer or No More Lies. So we're going to shave 2 of both of those. And that's how we're going to sideboard against mono red. The second most popular deck is It Phoenix? Against Is It Phoenix? We are bringing in Deafening Silence, makes it very hard for them to execute their game plan when they can only cast 1 spell a turn. Rest in Peace is just amazing graveyard hate. I'm also a fan of Declaration and Stone. When they do their big Phoenix thing, we can just kind of wipe everything away, and then they need to come up with a secondary game plan. I'm going to take out Wandering Emperor. They end up, I just don't think it's that good against this deck, frankly. Shelter by Ghost is also pretty medium because they run plenty of removal and they don't have a lot of things that are worth it to grab. And we're going to shave a single Skyclave Apparition. This is how we're sideboarding against Is It Phoenix. The third most popular deck is Mono Black Midrange, and we're actually going to be sideboarding the same against Mono Black as we do against Rakdos Midrange, which is the 10th most popular deck. So those are sort of together here. Surge of Salvation, very good against hand destruction and black removal, and can lead to some silly situations with blocking. Cassia's Welcome and all the wedding announcement, all very, very good. And they're looking to grind with you. So the Wandering Emperor is actually pretty good because things are super sticky, and having pretty unconditional removal in Declaration of Stone, I think, is really, really worth it. Skyclave Apparition ends up being pretty bad because they just have so much removal. Same thing with Sheltered by Ghosts. And we're going to shave on, or cut some Portable Hole. We actually have to cut all of them. So I think both of these are fine to keep in. I like keeping the Skyclave Apparition in, so we'll just do that. This time I'm sideboarding against Mono Black. The fourth most popular deck is the Lotus Field deck. Deafening Silence is obviously like insane against this deck. Rest in Peace is pretty decent, turns off the Leer plan, and really we're just trying to interact as much as possible and kill as fast as possible. Portable Hole does nearly literally nothing. Hitting Strict Proctor is kind of nice, but we already have like a lot of incidental stuff that, you know, that's happening anyway. Bringing out a single Skyclave Apparition. Unfortunately, probably Wandering Emperor actually is a little bit better than Skyclave Apparition in general, just because it can apply more pressure, even though we don't really want Wandering Emperor in here at all. So that's how I'm sideboarding against Lotus Field. The fifth most popular deck is Gruul Prowess. We're going to be bringing in Portable Hole, Surge of Salvation. Actually, we're sitting sideboarding literally the same as the mono red deck, all for pretty much the same reasons. So that's how we're sideboarding against Gruul Prowess. The sixth most popular deck is Selesnya Angels. Against the Angels deck, Declaration of Stone is actually pretty good, being able to have that unconditional removal and kind of clean up the board. Split Up can be pretty good, and Wandering Emperor can be pretty good, being able to snipe the relevant things. I'm not a big fan of Enduring Curiosity against this deck, and Portable Hole is only fine, being able to hit the mana makers and stuff. So keeping one in is totally fine. So some sideboarding against Selesnya Angels. The 7th most popular deck is Blue-White Control. Against Blue-White Control, we're bringing in these cards that are really sticky and kind of hard for them to deal with, the Planeswalkers and the enchantments. And we're going to be bringing out a lot of this removal just as much as possible. This time sideboarding against Blue-White Control. The 8th most popular deck is the Mirror Match, actually. In the Mirror, Portable Hole is excellent. Just having as much of this removal as possible just feels really, really good. Split Up can end up being a one-sided board wipe, and then playing the Flash plan a bunch with Wandering Emperor feels really good. There's not a lot of instants and sorceries in this deck that we're super worried about, so I actually like bringing out the Spell Pierce and then a few Mausoleum Wanderer in this home sideboarding in the Mirror. The 9th most popular deck is the Mono White Caretaker Token Control deck. Declaration of Stone is actually pretty decent against this deck, I think, and I basically the same thing as the other control decks. We want to bring in all these things that are really, really sticky, and then we're going to be bringing out a lot of removal. Removal is a little bit better against this deck than a lot of decks, but it's still not super duper worth it. They also don't have a lot of instants of sorceries, so taking out a few Mausoleum Wanderers is totally fine. The thing is, like, the most impactful card, I would argue, which is United Battlefront, is one of the, like, is a sorcery, so like keeping some number one in I think is really good. This how I'm sideboarding against Mono White. And then we already talked about the 10th most popular deck, which is Rakdos Midrange, and that's how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Pioneer with Azorius Flash. If you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.